In a world where so many connections feel temporary, where people come and go with half-spoken promises and fleeting attention, it's easy to wonder if someone truly sees you, or if you're just another moment in their journey. We've all been there, questioning the sincerity behind someone's smile, wondering if their words will still hold weight weeks from now, or if their affection will fade the moment things stop being easy. Sometimes it starts beautifully. He texts you good morning, laughs at your jokes, says the right things. You go on late-night drives, talk about your dreams, share secrets in the dark. But somewhere in your heart, there's a whisper asking, is this real? Or am I just something he's passing through until something better comes along? That question can echo in your mind, especially if you've been through relationships that started strong but ended in silence, where you gave your heart to someone who was never planning to stay. But when a man truly values you, when you're not just a phase to him, the signs are there. They're not always loud or obvious. Often they're subtle, quiet, found in the way he listens, in the way he shows up, in the way he makes you feel safe without even trying. These aren't things you can fake. Real presence, real commitment, reveals itself over time, not through promises but through patterns. A man who sees you as more than just a chapter in his story won't make you guess your worth. He'll show it in how he handles your silences, how he protects your peace, how he honors your truth. He'll make you feel chosen on the hard days, not just the pretty ones. And even when life gets messy, he won't vanish. He'll stay. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. If you're questioning where you stand with someone, this list of 15 signs isn't here to give you false hope. It's here to help you see clearly, to notice the difference between someone who is simply there for now and someone who is here for real. You deserve more than just attention. You deserve intention. You deserve love that doesn't fade when the spark dims. You deserve to be held, understood, supported, not just when it's convenient, but when it counts. So take a breath. Let go of the confusion. And as you read through these quiet signs, trust your instincts. Because real love doesn't play guessing games. Real love leaves no room for doubt. And if he's showing you these signs, not once, but consistently, then maybe, just maybe, you're not just a phase. You're home. And he knows it. 1. He remembers the smallest details you've shared. When someone remembers the smallest details you've shared, it's more than just a sweet gesture. It's a quiet form of emotional investment. It means he's paying attention, not out of obligation, but because he genuinely values what you say. These details may seem insignificant to others. Maybe it's the way you take your coffee, the name of your childhood pet, or the song you said once helped you get through a hard time. But to him, they matter, because you matter. It's easy to listen when someone is telling a dramatic story or making a big announcement. But it takes a different kind of care to hold on to the little things, the soft words, spoken in passing, the offhand mentions, the things you didn't even realize you were sharing from your heart. If he brings those things up later, it shows he wasn't just hearing you, he was listening to you. That kind of memory doesn't come from casual interest. It comes from genuine connection. This quiet attention also builds a silent foundation of trust. You feel seen, heard, and understood without having to repeat yourself or fight to be remembered. And when someone makes the effort to know the small parts of you, they're often the ones willing to stay for the bigger, messier parts too. It means your words don't disappear into thin air. They land, they settle, and they stay with him. In a world where people often forget quickly, being remembered quietly is rare. And if he's holding on to your details, even the tiniest ones, it's a strong, steady sign that you're not just a temporary distraction. You're someone he's choosing to learn, piece by piece. and that kind of attention doesn't come with an expiration date. 2. He talks about long-term plans that include you. When he talks about long-term plans that include you, it's one of the clearest unspoken signs that you're not just a passing phase. It's easy to talk about the present, what to eat tonight, where to go this weekend. But when someone starts weaving you into their future, even casually, it means they're seeing you as part of the bigger picture. He might mention a trip he wants to take next year and say, "We should go there." Or he'll talk about the kind of home he wants someday and ask for your thoughts. These are quiet invitations, not always dramatic or grand, but they're deeply meaningful. It shows he's already thinking about a version of life where you're still by his side. And that kind of thinking isn't temporary. It's a sign of emotional investment that stretches far beyond the moment. These conversations may not always be labeled as serious. Sometimes they come out while laughing on the couch or walking together in silence. But that's what makes them powerful. They're natural. They're not rehearsed or forced. He's not making promises to impress you. He's including you in plans because, in his mind, that already feels right. When someone envisions a future and naturally puts you in it, it means your presence isn't just appreciated, it's expected. You become part of the life they're building in their head. Whether it's something as small as holiday plans or something as deep as where to raise a family, the message is the same. You belong in the days ahead. And that kind of quiet inclusion is never random. It's a sign that you're not a placeholder or a comfort zone. You're someone he's building around, someone he wants to grow with, not just pass time with. 3. He introduces you to people who matter to him. When he introduces you to the people who matter to him, family, close friends, mentors, it's a quiet, yet powerful signal that you're not just a moment in his life, but someone he sees as significant. These introductions don't always come with fanfare or grand declarations. Sometimes they're simple, even casual, but the meaning behind them runs deep. People protect their inner circle. They don't bring just anyone into that space. So when he decides to bring you into his world, he's doing more than just saying, "This is someone I'm seeing." He's showing the people he trusts most that you're part of his life. It's his way of blending the two worlds, his private life and his relationship, into one. That takes vulnerability, and more importantly, it takes intention. Even more telling is how he introduces you. If he says your name with pride, if his eyes light up as he talks about you, if he lets you into conversations that go beyond surface level. That's all quiet confirmation that your presence matters. He's not just including you in a moment, he's allowing you into the core of who he is and where he comes from. And once you're introduced to those closest to him, it often becomes easier to see how he behaves when he's truly at ease. If he lets you witness the unfiltered parts of his relationships with loved ones, it means he trusts you enough to see him fully. He's not hiding you away, not keeping you separate from the parts of life that shape him. That kind of openness doesn't happen with someone he sees as temporary. When a man includes you in his circle, it means you're not just an outside chapter. You're part of the story now. And that kind of inclusion is never random. It's rooted in deep regard, quiet commitment, and something real that he's not afraid to let others see. 4. He listens to understand, not just to respond. When he listens to understand, not just to respond, it shows that your words aren't just noise to him, they're meaning. In today's world, it's easy to hear someone without really listening. But when someone takes the time to truly absorb what you're saying, pauses, thinks, and makes you feel heard, it's one of the strongest quiet signs that you're not just a passing moment to him. It means he's not waiting for his turn to talk. He's not trying to fix you, interrupt you, or win the conversation. Instead, he leans into your feelings, your stories, your silences. He wants to understand your side, your view, your pain, even when it's uncomfortable or complex. That kind of patience doesn't come from surface-level affection. It comes from care that runs deep. He might ask questions, reflect your words back to you gently, or just sit with your emotions without rushing them away. And when things matter to you, they start to matter to him. Not because he has to, but because it matters that much that you feel safe with him. That's emotional maturity, and more importantly, it's emotional presence. Real understanding doesn't need a loud voice. It shows in quiet things. The way he remembers what hurt you, the way he changes how he reacts, the way he adjusts without making you beg. He doesn't need to be right. He wants to get it right. For you. Listening to understand is one of the purest forms of love. It means your feelings are not an inconvenience. They're part of the connection. And when someone makes space for your truth without trying to rush it or shape it, that's not temporary affection. That's someone who's in it for more than just the moment. 5. He checks in on you even when you're not feeling chatty. When he checks in on you even when you're not feeling chatty, it shows a kind of care that goes beyond convenience or mood. It's easy to be present when the conversations are exciting, full of energy, or when you're your most cheerful self. But the real test of emotional presence is what happens when you're quiet, when you're distant, overwhelmed, or simply not in the mood to talk. If he still shows up in those moments, gently, without pressure, it means he's not just in this for your bright days. He notices your silence, and instead of backing away or getting frustrated, he leans in. Maybe it's a message that just says, "thinking of you," or a voice note letting you know he's around. He doesn't need a response. He just wants you to know you're not alone. This kind of quiet consistency is rare. It means your emotional comfort matters to him, even when you don't feel like expressing it. He doesn't check in to fix you or to get something back. He checks in because your well-being matters to him just as you are in that moment. And that includes the quiet, messy, or tired versions of you. His concern isn't performative. It's rooted in emotional safety. It shows that your presence, even in silence, still has weight in his world. He doesn't need you to entertain him or be cheerful all the time. He simply needs you to know he's still there. When someone checks in during your stillness and not just your spark, they're showing love that isn't conditional. It's not based on how much you give back in the moment. It's based on who you are to them. And that kind of care doesn't come from someone who sees you as temporary. It comes from someone who sees you as worth staying close to, even when words aren't being said. 6. He notices your moods and tries to support you. When he notices your moods and tries to support you, it shows that he's emotionally tuned in, not just to your words, but to your energy. He pays attention to the shifts in your tone, your expressions, your silences. He doesn't need a dramatic outburst to realize something's off. Often, he just knows, and he responds with a kind of quiet care that speaks volumes. This isn't about solving every problem or offering advice you didn't ask for. It's about being there in a way that matches what you need. Maybe he gives you space. Maybe he offers comfort. Maybe he simply listens without judgment. The key is, he doesn't ignore it. He doesn't pretend it's nothing. Your emotions register with him, and he treats them as something that matters. There's something incredibly grounding about being with someone who sees you clearly, even when you're not at your best. It means he's not just present for the fun or the romance. He's present for the realness. When your mood dips, and he adjusts his energy or his approach instead of pulling away, it shows maturity and genuine emotional investment. He doesn't view your moodiness as a burden. He sees it as a part of you. one that deserves compassion, not criticism. That quiet awareness builds trust. It makes you feel emotionally safe. And when someone goes out of their way to support you through your moods without making it about themselves, it's a strong sign that they're not just passing through your life. Support that shows up quietly, intuitively, and consistently is rare. And if he gives you that, not out of obligation, but out of genuine care, you're not a phase to him. You're someone he's choosing to stand beside, even when the weather in your heart shifts without warning. 7. He shares his past and his dreams openly. When he shares his past and his dreams openly, it's a powerful sign that he sees you as someone safe. Someone who belongs in both his history and his future. People don't reveal their inner stories to just anyone. There's a quiet vulnerability in opening up about what's shaped you, what's hurt you, and what you still hope for. If he chooses to bring you into that emotional space, it means you matter on a deeper level. He might talk about childhood memories, past heartbreaks, or the struggles he rarely admits to others. Or he might speak about what he wants in life, the kind of home he hopes to build, the goals he's chasing, the fears he's still learning to face. These aren't just casual conversations. They're pieces of who he is, and he's offering them to you with trust. This kind of openness builds emotional intimacy. It's not about dramatic confessions. It's about those quiet, raw moments where someone lets you see the real them, without the mask. When he tells you his truth, without editing it to impress or protect his image, he's saying, in his own way, I don't want to hide from you. And if you're part of his dreams, not just a listener, but a presence in what he imagines for the future, that's even more telling. He's not just telling you who he was, he's letting you see where he's going and asking you to be part of the journey. When a man includes you in both the pain of his past and the hope of his future, it means you're not temporary. You're not a filler chapter. You're someone he wants to write into the full story of who he is, scars, dreams, and all. 8. He wants to learn what makes you feel safe. When he wants to learn what makes you feel safe, it's a quiet but deeply meaningful sign that he's not just interested in being with you. He's interested in protecting the space where your heart rests. Emotional safety isn't always about grand gestures or dramatic promises. Most of the time, it's built in the smallest questions, the softest moments, and the quiet ways someone says, I care about how you experience the world. He doesn't assume he knows what comforts you. Instead, he listens. He asks. He notices. He wants to understand the things that calm your mind, the boundaries that guard your peace, the words or actions that make you feel secure. And when he learns those things, he adjusts. Not out of obligation, but because your comfort matters more to him than his convenience. This kind of awareness isn't common. Most people rush past it. But when someone slows down and takes the time to truly study your emotional language, your silences, your fears, your needs, they're showing a level of care that can't be faked. They're telling you, even without words, your feelings are valid here. You don't have to armor up. When you start to realize that he respects your pace, honors your boundaries, and holds your emotions gently, something shifts. You begin to trust him not just with your time or attention, but with your truth. And once you feel safe with someone, real love has a place to grow. Someone who's just passing through doesn't ask how to hold your heart, but someone who sees you as more, as something permanent, precious, and real, will quietly make sure their presence never becomes a threat to your peace. That's how you know you're not a phase, you're home. 9. He respects your boundaries without needing reminders. When he respects your boundaries without needing reminders, It speaks volumes about how seriously he takes your comfort, your autonomy, and your emotional space. It shows he's paying attention, not just to your words, but to your values. He's not just hearing your no, he's honoring it. He doesn't challenge it, guilt you about it, or try to push past it. Instead, he quietly accepts it because he respects you. Boundaries aren't always easy to talk about, and they're even harder to enforce. So when someone respects them the first time, without making you feel like you have to explain or defend yourself, it means he sees you as a full person, not just someone who's there to meet his needs. That kind of response reflects emotional maturity and deep-rooted care. You don't have to constantly repeat yourself. You don't have to monitor his behavior or walk on eggshells. He remembers what matters to you, and he aligns his actions with that. Whether it's physical space, emotional limits, or personal routines, he doesn't cross the line just because he can. He stays behind it, willingly, because your safety and peace come first. And it's not performative. He doesn't do it to earn praise. He does it naturally, because in his mind, respecting you is the standard, not a special gesture. When someone gives you that kind of space, without needing to be told twice, they're showing a love that listens, a love that's patient, a love that wants to build trust, not test it. And when a man treats your boundaries like sacred ground, not obstacles, you can be sure of one thing. You're not just a phase. You're someone he's choosing to protect, not possess. 10. He stays consistent even during disagreements. When he stays consistent even during disagreements, it's a quiet but powerful sign that he's not just here for the easy parts of the relationship. He's here for all of it. Disagreements are inevitable. Every real connection will face moments of tension, misunderstanding, or emotional friction. But how someone shows up during those moments tells you everything about their intentions. If he remains calm, respectful, and emotionally steady, even when you're upset, even when he doesn't agree, it means he values the relationship more than being right. He doesn't use arguments as a reason to withdraw, lash out, or shut down. Instead, he stays present. He listens. He gives you space if you need it, or holds space if you want to talk. And most importantly, he doesn't suddenly become someone else just because things aren't perfect. That kind of consistency builds safety. It tells you that love isn't conditional. He doesn't disappear emotionally when things get tough. He doesn't twist your words or weaponize your feelings. He stays grounded because he's not in this temporarily. He's in this to understand, to grow, and to make it through the hard moments without breaking what you've built. Real commitment shows up in conflict. When someone can look at you with the same care, even when the conversation is uncomfortable, they're showing that their feelings aren't just skin deep. They're rooted in patience, respect, and a desire to protect the connection, not damage it. When a man can stay emotionally available, kind, and grounded, even when things aren't perfect, he's not seeing you as a phase. He's seeing you as a partner. And that kind of steadiness isn't something you ask for. It's something he chooses, because that's the kind of man he wants to be for you. 11. He encourages your growth without competition. When he encourages your growth without competition, it reveals a rare kind of emotional security. The kind that's not threatened by your strength, your dreams, or your evolution. He doesn't feel the need to outshine you, outdo you, or keep score. Instead, he quietly cheers you on, because your success doesn't feel like a loss to him. It feels like a win for both of you. He's the type to ask about your goals and genuinely listen. He celebrates your progress, even when it has nothing to do with him. And when you shine, he doesn't dim the light. He stands beside you, proud. There's no envy in his support, no backhanded praise, No subtle remarks meant to pull you down. His encouragement is pure, steady, and real. You can grow in any direction, professionally, emotionally, creatively, and he'll be there, rooting for you. He won't feel left behind, and he won't make you feel guilty for evolving. That's because he understands something many people don't. Love is not a race. It's not a ladder. It's not a stage where only one person gets to stand in the spotlight. When a man supports your growth with open hands and no strings, he's showing you that he sees your future as something he wants to strengthen, not control. He believes in what you're becoming. And more than that, he wants to witness it. That kind of support doesn't come from someone passing through. It comes from someone who sees you as a whole person and wants to grow beside you, not in front of you. 12. He makes sacrifices without keeping score. When he makes sacrifices without keeping score, it's a quiet form of love that speaks louder than any grand gesture. It means he's willing to give his time, his comfort, his energy, not because he expects something in return, but because your happiness, peace, or well-being truly matter to him. He doesn't tally favors or use past sacrifices as leverage. He doesn't remind you of what he's done or make you feel indebted. Instead, he offers help in moments you didn't even ask for. Maybe he drives across town after a long day just to see you smile. Maybe he adjusts his schedule to make time for what's important to you. These things may seem small on the surface, but they're built on something deep. Care without conditions. What makes it even more meaningful is that he does it quietly. No spotlight, no guilt, no trade, just presence, offered freely. Because he understands that love isn't a transaction. It's not about winning or gaining the upper hand. It's about showing up for someone, especially when it's inconvenient. When a man makes real sacrifices and never turns them into currency, it means you're not just someone he's passing time with. You're someone he's choosing, even when it costs him comfort. That kind of love isn't temporary. It's rooted, steady, and real, and it never keeps score because it's not trying to win. It's trying to last. 13. He values your opinion in serious matters. When he values your opinion in serious matters, it means he sees you as an equal, someone whose thoughts, perspective, and judgment truly matter to him. He doesn't just come to you for casual input or shallow reassurance. He turns to you when he's making real decisions about his work, his family, his future, and even himself. He listens when you speak, not just to nod along, but because he genuinely wants to know what you think. He respects your mind, your instincts, and the way you see the world. Whether he agrees with you or not, your voice holds weight in his life, not just because he cares about you, but because he trusts you. When you're included in these deeper conversations, it's a sign that he isn't just sharing his life with you, he's building it with you. It means he sees you as a partner in every sense, not just someone to share good times with. He considers how his choices might affect you. He welcomes your insight before making big moves. And when you express concern or offer advice, he listens with seriousness, not defensiveness. This level of respect doesn't come from infatuation. It comes from a steady sense of belonging. You're not on the sidelines. You're at the table. And your presence there is not symbolic. It's essential. When a man invites you into the moments that shape his life and honors your perspective like it's part of his compass, you're not a temporary chapter. You're part of his foundation. And that kind of inclusion isn't given lightly. It's earned through trust and held through love. 14. He shows up when it really counts. When he shows up when it really counts, it reveals the depth of his commitment, not through words, but through action. Anyone can be present when things are light and easy, but true care is proven in the heavy moments, when life gets messy, painful, or uncertain. If he's still there, without needing to be asked. It means you're not just a convenience to him. You're a priority. Maybe it's during a crisis, a health scare, a family emergency, or a time when you simply feel lost. He doesn't vanish. He doesn't delay. He doesn't make excuses. Instead, he makes space, emotionally and physically, to be right there with you. Even if he doesn't have the perfect words, he offers his presence, his strength, and his calm. This kind of reliability speaks volumes. It says, you don't have to face this alone. I've got you. It's not about fixing everything. It's about choosing to stand beside you when it matters most, when you're vulnerable, hurting, or unsure. And he does it without expecting recognition or praise. He does it because showing up for you feels natural, not optional. That kind of consistency is rare. It comes from love that's grounded, not performative. A man who shows up when it really counts isn't just part of your story. He's someone who wants to write it with you, especially during the chapters that test your strength. When someone proves they're there for more than the joy, when they hold steady through the storm, they're showing you you're not just a phase, you're home. And they're not going anywhere. 15. He makes you feel like home, not a stop along the way. When he makes you feel like home, not a stop along the way, it means he's not just passing through your life for comfort or convenience. He's rooted, present, intentional. You're not a temporary chapter or a layover while he figures things out. You're the place he keeps coming back to, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. This feeling doesn't come from grand words or dramatic declarations. It comes from the way he looks at you after a long day, the way he reaches for your hand when there's nothing to say, the way your silence doesn't make him restless. It makes him still. Around you, he doesn't wear a mask. He doesn't perform. He rests and invites you to do the same. When someone makes you feel like home, they don't treat you like an escape. They treat you like belonging. They want to build with you, not just date you. They care about your peace, your laughter, your dreams. They protect your energy and respect your space. Being with them feels grounding, not uncertain. Secure, not conditional. And it's mutual. You feel safe to be your rawest self. You don't fear being too much or not enough. With him, your presence isn't something he tolerates. It's something he treasures. He makes it clear that he's not looking around or waiting for something better. To him, you are it. That kind of presence can't be faked. It's not rushed. It's built slowly, day by day, through honesty, care, and quiet effort. When a man makes you feel like home, it's because he's already decided. This isn't a phase, a distraction, or an experiment. This is real. This is you. And he's exactly where he wants to be.